everyone, I'm Jessica and I go by Stitching Colours here on Flosstube. Welcome back. This is Flosstube number 5 and today is the 15th of October 2022. Over the last 2 weeks I have worked on 4 projects for a total of 8,794 stitches. It is a bit lower than normal. I kind of got stuck on one of my pieces that was very confetti heavy and didn't really want to stitch afterwards, so I sewed a few bags and did a few other things instead. So let's hope the next couple of weeks are a bit better. The first piece I worked on was Evening in the Park by Chatelaine. This is stitched on 32 count midnight fabric by the Crosswing collection. I am getting very close to a finish and this was a total of 3,066 stitches completed on it this time. So you'll be able to tell that all I've got left stitching wise is to fill in 2 trees and 1 more lantern. And then I've got to do the beading and back stitching for all of the trees and lanterns. Yeah, and there's a little bit of the snow left to go as well. And then that will be a finish. So I'm getting very excited and it is looking fantastic. And it looks reasonably symmetrical, which is great, even though there is one issue with the swans where there's one swan that is 1 row shorter in the neck than the others. While I could see it at one point, I don't think it's noticeable anymore. I'll have to reevaluate once I get there. It might become noticeable once I've finished all the trees and it all looks symmetrical fully. But yeah. So the next piece I worked on was A New Start, which was Mini Magic Mirror by Anne Stokes. And this was the piece that kind of caused the problems. And that it was pretty heavy confetti, although I have to say, even for a new start, it is looking fantastic, and the amount of confetti you can tell just by how many parked threads I've got. I have not wound them up as yet, but anyway. So this was a total of 2,710 stitches, and so being a mini, I'm amazed at just how much small details are actually present in it and visible in the bottom, that first part of the page. It is awesome. Yeah. I mean, something that's really cool is you can see the start of the mirror coming in here and all of the detailing work on the timber framing around the mirror, and even here what looks to be a spider web in the background, which is really cool. So that is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, stitched 1/1 on 25 count. When I first started that one, I decided to give it a go on 28 count and got all of 20 stitches in before going, no, don't like it, I'm going back to 25 count. So yeah, it was an interesting experiment. The next piece I worked on was Planets Align, and this is by Tilton Craft, and it is under the Creative Commons license, the artwork. And I've gotten across the edge of the top row of pages. I am very happy with it. It is looking fantastic, and this was my goal for the year. And I'm sorry if you can hear a cat meowing in the background. She's normally sleeping at this time. Unfortunately, she's decided it's playtime. So you might see her, you might not. I'm not sure what she's going to do. So I got a total of 1,460 stitches to complete that last page across the top row. And the last piece I worked on was Wizard Septimus. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. The artwork is by Jan Patrick Krasny, and I've completed 1,558 stitches on it. So here's where we're at now, and you'll be able to see that I'm getting further and further away from where the stars and planets are in the sky over this side, and it's getting a lot more and more 939 as I do so. About here-ish is where the start, no, probably about there, is where the start of the cloak comes in of the wizard. So it's very exciting to be seeing something coming in so quickly. And this is stitched 1/1 on 25 count with CXC thread. So it's a little bit, you'll see, coverage wise, especially with the darker colors, it's a little bit heavier and thicker than DMC, which for pieces that have got a lot of dark in them is very good. So if you compare that to this piece, which is my planets line, let me get them somewhat lined up, you'll be able to see comparatively wise, this is coverage wise is a little bit lighter. You can kind of almost see the fabric behind the 939, whereas here where it is also mainly 939, you can't see any fabric behind. So CXC and DMC color wise, they seem to match up pretty much identically, although occasionally you'll find that the CXC colors are a bit more vibrant or slightly off tonally. But if you're using purely CXC in a project, it's not going to be a problem. I found the difficulty is when you mix and match between DMC and CXC because of that slight difference in the thickness of the coverage that you get. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you next in a couple of weeks. All right, thank you, bye.